Alan Ballantyne, good to see you, my friend. Alan, it's great to see you here. It really is. Hopefully we're going to get a couple more people to pop in here. We've got, let's see, who have we got? The Filthy Phoenix has joined us as well. Excellent. Appreciate you guys stopping in. This isn't going to be a super long one, people, but I had some things that I wanted to address everybody, tell them about some cool things on the boat. And we'll wait for a couple more people to come straggling in. We got the Seventh Son, gentleman that has been here since before there was a channel. It's a guy that, when I left a comment yesterday, said when I was doing my push over there on Instagram that I described to everybody yesterday, he was there for that and actually came over and subscribed to the Tommy Scoville show before there was a Tommy Scoville show, which is super cool. Really appreciate you. Can you guys give me... Apparently, the correct terminology would be a 5x5. So you give me a 5, right? And then the multiplication sign, like a 5x5. That lets me know that I sound good. I'm not, you can hear me and that you can see everything as well. So if I could get some kind of a 5x5, you guys just let me know that that everything is good. I would appreciate that. Again, everybody, this is... well, there we go with our 5x5. Nice, Alan. Welcome to the lifeboat, everybody. I am Captain Tommy Scoville. Beth, so good to see you. Apparently, there was not a problem with notifications on this one. That's good. Chad Perry, awesome to see you. Brian Michaels, thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate you. People, I'm going to be telling some stuff about the boat. You probably noticed that when you came and clicked on the live feed today, it did not look like the just the run-of-the-mill symbol that we have, right? We did the bat sign, the emblem that is what we use for the channel. You'll notice that we made some changes. Kiwi MacArthur, good to see you. Good morning from New Zealand. How cool is that, people, huh? Got people from the boat coming in from all over the world. Does that not just tickle you pink? I'll tell you what, it does me. But as I was saying, you probably noticed that there's some much cooler graphics. The channel is changing in the way it looks. That is all due to the efforts of one of my first mates, right? That is the effort of Mark. As I've said before, not my strong suit, people. All things related to the nuts and bolts, like the hardware kind of stuff in building a site, not really my strong suit. Mark, however, is awesome at it, and he's been putting in a lot of effort to change, the appearance of the ship. The boat is going to remain the same in terms of what our goal is. That's never going to change. It's pretty cut and dry what it is we're trying to do, and that's never going to change. However, we want to put out a product that looks more professional than less professional. That's really going to become an issue in the next month when we start going live to the entire world. Should not say in the next month. People, we're going to qualify to monetize. It really can vary greatly. Mr. George Workman, George, welcome. Saigon Cinnamon, one of my favorite people. Welcome to the boat. Gentleman's been putting in a lot of effort too. Another guy that just has been awesome in terms of giving time and effort to the boat. But as I was just saying, we're going to hit the qualifications. In fact, I'm going to go into more about that in a second because exciting stuff happened yesterday. But once we do hit all of the qualifications and we do everything that we need to do in order to monetize, we then, LB Loxley, good to see you, we then have to fill out paperwork officially with YouTube. And from what I understand, it is not a slam dunk that it happens instantly. I did not know that LB Loxley was chiming in from England. Believe it or not, LB, I thought you were here in the United States. Awesome. I love the fact that we are all over the world. How about that, people? Not the United States. We got Canada. We got England, and we've got New Zealand and Australia all on this live feed. That is just exciting stuff. It really is. That's awesome stuff. So as I was saying, the qualifications: 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers. The 1,000 subscribers, people, we had in about 3 weeks. The 4,000 hours, we are really, really close. When I looked last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, now we're always one day behind on all of the statistics that I see on that because of how it works. There's like a time lapse or a time delay. So really what I'm telling you right now is not accurate and up to the date. It's really sort of what happened 24 hours ago. However, and it gets slightly adjusted along the way, but we are at 3,200 plus. So we have about 750 hours that we need to do. What's really impressive is that yesterday we did about 140 hours of view time in one day. Now, a chunk of that came from the live feed, but a lot of it are, those hours are rolling in from people who have taken the time to go back and start watching videos. I won't harp on this forever, people. I'm really just harping on it to try to get us to that 4,000. And for those who haven't heard me go off on this, people, the reason that we're trying to do it and do it so fast and really sort of almost in this desperation kind of a run is because the algorithm will determine how great you're going to be as a channel right in the beginning. And I learned from Chase the Heat. My brother's channel just never really got pushed onto people the way that it should have, because there was a period of time before people really got a handle on just how talented my brother is, especially with what he does. His ability to, you're right, Saigon Cinnamon says I should do the paperwork and registration before hitting so that when we do it, it will come a little faster. You're absolutely right, my brother. There is no two ways about that. And it's kind of difficult because they mail you a form once you hit that number. However, I have already done a little research on how I can acquire one of those forms so that I have it done. I promise you, my brother, it is going to be within 6 seconds of it being official, or maybe even 15 minutes before it's official. That application will be going in. But as I was saying, with Chase the Heat, because they didn't come out of the gate as fast as they should have, it kind of puts you into a different category with our partners right from the word go. And that is kind of unfortunate. Beth, I'm so sorry to hear about your migraine. Maybe I should not raise my voice as much. I'm not being funny. My head, when I had a headache the other day, the noise was just awful. Beth, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. I promise you. I'm sorry to hear that you're hurt, and I really am. Virginia, it is excellent to see you. I appreciate the fact that you're here. You and I will probably be having a conversation today, if not tomorrow, but more than likely today. Some stuff I need to talk to you about. But yeah, people, because of how fast we came out the gate, we really have been blessed. And a great deal of it is because of my association with other people. I'm not delusional. I am the mayor of Realville. And because I am Johnny Scoville's little brother, we got off to a very good start. You know what I mean? We got the benefit of everything he had done. And Mark Wages has just been amazing with what he has done. If you're just joining us on the show now, you probably noticed that the live feed button is a very different appearance now. It's got the captain on there, and there's an anchor as well, sort of on a C. It's a beautiful, really a beautiful thumbnail in my opinion, and that was designed by Mark. He has been really stepping up to the plate to try to change the appearance of the boat, and I think that's a great idea. I really do. It's essential, people. If you show up and you see a thumbnail and it says, TLB up there, you all know the lifeboat, you know what it is. In my head, it's like, well, these are all people I know. This is what I think about. I think about this right here. However, we were really blessed that, Mark is more focused on how this really works. And Mark was thinking, right from Jump Street that, that's not who we're trying to appeal to. I don't need to appeal to people who are already crew members, but we need to package this in such a way so that people who have never seen it before, are enticed to come in. And I think that the graphics that he's putting up now really is getting that done. It's a much better looking package. Deja Moores, good to see you. Glad that you could make it onto the boat with us today. Boy, we're getting a good turnout at the, these impromptu ones. When I go up quickly like this, to be honest about how you really got. Oh, look, I don't have to come clean about how I got that anchor. Let's just say that I got it done, and A lot of help from a lot of friends. Around here, everything seems to be a lot of help from a lot of friends. There's some other really exciting stuff happening, people. We really, we're in a great position. Mr. Flaming Jackson, really good to see you, my brother. Absolutely love having you here. I really do. People, so a couple of things I want to touch on. Yesterday, when I did the live feed, I may have handled the situation poorly. And as it is kind of played out now into the comment section, there are a lot of people who have sort of, I don't know, come to my defense. But whether right or wrong is not something that really matters to me, especially in situations like this. Even if I was right in every way, shape, and form with how I handled something yesterday, with why I handled something, the way I did it wasn't right. Yesterday, there's a gentleman on here from Matter of Time, and he was in the comment section and he was talking about how he's unhappy. I actually have, to be honest, I have two people now who send me, and it's kind of coordinated, but they send me comments, right? So they sort of helps keep me organized, like a call screener, right? I call them both Linda because they're both Lindas. And so as they're coming in, I see this thing that says, he's been unhappy for a long period of time. And I start to make comments about that. And he comes back and says, but, it's not, I don't want to be happy. So I was probably a bit of a wise aleck when I said, hey, if you're not happy and you don't want to be happy, isn't that right where you want to be? I mean, what can we do to help you? If you're not happy and you don't want to be happy, then you're right in the wheelhouse. People, I probably came off, especially to him, sounding like a bit of a wise aleck, and that wasn't my goal. People, I don't ever want to hurt anyone's feelings in anything that I do on this boat or off this boat. I really don't have any desire to hurt anybody. It's not who I am. And it's certainly not who I want the new Tommy to be. It was never on my list. In fact, high on my list was I want to be kind, right? I say it a lot. Kindness is my drug of choice. And hello, Street Mom. I didn't want this gentleman to come away feeling hurt. And he left a comment saying that he thought I was a bit of a jerk in how I handled it. So we went back and forth, I believe about 35 different sort of back and forths that he weighed in, I weighed in, he weighed in, I weighed in. And Cheeber was on last night. He was also in the discussion. And Cheeber sort of came around and said, hey, if I said anything, Captain, about you handling this improperly, I want to take it back, because I think that now that I realize, because what he basically said is he really does not want to be happy. So my response was, you're coming to a channel where what I concentrate on more than anything in life is trying to make individuals live a happy, healthy existence, free of addiction and free of any habit, anything that is going to really drag them down. So if you come to a place like this and you go into the comment section and you start talking about how you're unhappy, you know what's going to happen? The crew is going to come to your rescue. It's what we do. We're a rescue boat, right? I mean, what we do is we go out and we rescue people and we try to take care of them. So all of that being said, I got to be a nicer person. And as the captain, if I don't lead by example doing that, then other people aren't going to be. So mea culpa, right? This one was my fault. No matter what he said in the comment section or no matter how he said it, I didn't handle it the way that I should have. And I'm unhappy with myself about it. I'm not going to beat myself up too bad, but I'm not happy with how I did it. So anytime I do something, people, where I feel like I've come up a little short, I'm going to come here and I'm going to admit that. So I wish I had handled it differently. Right? Plain and simple. I really wish I had handled it differently. Now, that being said, if you're in the comment section, or if anyone ever is in the future, because I know everybody in the comment section right now, and I know most of your hearts pretty well, but if there's ever somebody in the comment section who doesn't want to be cheered up, I'm always going to be on edge, people, right? There's no net. I'm working live here, and there are a great number of people, believe it or not, that just don't like the captain, right? There are a grip of people out there that dislike me and what I'm doing. I think it's the hat. I'm kidding. Honestly, I think it's because, we have a very positive message, and there are people that don't like that. So I'm on edge. If I see somebody in the comment section and I go to try to help them and they say something like, well, I don't want to be happy anyway, I kind of feel like I'm getting messed with. I'm going to change that. And I'm always going to be leading with kindness instead of anything else, right? You know, it is what it is. And that's just something that I'm going to have to deal with. And I promise I'm going to do a better job. The people who are here right now in the comment section, Saigon Cinnamon says, I don't like the captain. I love you. I tell you what, man, I love you. I really do. There's nobody in this comment section right now. Honestly, every person in here is just, this is the top of the food chain in terms of, you know, crew here. I love all of you. I really do. But I don't want to come across cruel to anyone, even if these people don't like me. Or and there were some people in there last night that didn't. You know what I mean? Last night was one of those times that I could actually go through and read some things, and some things were said. But I got to say this too. Oh, wow, is your timing perfect? Cheeber, I'm so glad you're here. I really am. I was just telling the crew about the situation and how I don't think I handled it properly. And I don't think I was in the wrong with what I thought this gentleman's stance was. Still doesn't mean I handled it right. You know, I don't think I was wrong, but I think I was wrong in how I handled it, if that makes any sense. I know it does to Cheeber because he's kind of been in the middle of this with me. But to the rest of you, that may sound silly. You really, if you read the thread, I think it would make more sense. I don't want to hurt anybody in any way. I don't want to hurt anybody. And I think I hurt this guy. And that's not cool. Mean people suck, and if the captain's being mean, he sucks too. I kind of was frustrated, and I'm repeating myself, but I'm repeating myself because I just saw Cheever come in. I don't want to hurt anybody, and because of how this situation went down, I think I probably did, you know. And the proof of that is in the pudding. You know, I guess I didn't see it. I heard people talk about it, but I never saw a comment. But there were... somebody said that there was a comment made concerning, you know, me creating drama for clicks, for views. People, what happened with Chi-Chi, I removed that live feed video. It had 400 views, right? I got rid of that. That was a kick, and I hadn't done this before. And when I did, we lost all of the time that we gained from that video was basically expunged. And that watch time was, you know, 30 to 35 people that hung out for 2.5 hours. If I was doing it for views or doing it for time, I'm an idiot. I promise you people, I have no problem standing right here in front of the crew and begging you to watch more videos. Leave them on all day. Do whatever you got to do because I want to get the boat to monetization so that we can start getting this out, and I want to do it fast because the faster we do it, the more the algorithm thinks we're a player and the more they push us. I got no problem begging for that. I don't, because I think right now there are people in this country with needles in their arms, and I really need them to hear this before it's too late. Right? We got 190 people a day dying. I want this message out. Right? This is my goal in life. So I don't mind. But to hurt somebody on this boat that I care about, I take that video down. I burn all 200 videos and start from scratch. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't even want to hurt people who are cruel to me. But I wasn't doing that for views, people. I love Chi-Chi. I really do. You know, as a parent or a captain or anybody else, you probably shouldn't have favorites. But Chi-Chi is one of those people that long before I had a channel, she was over on Chase the Heat, and she just is so positive. Anytime there was any kind of controversy, and there's always going to be controversy, right? This is YouTube. But every time there was any kind of controversy, Chi-Chi was there within 2 seconds to just be a calming influence. Mike Hawk, good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. So, what does that say? Oh, who is Chi-Chi? Chi-Chi is a girl you will see in the comment section a lot. She and a girl named Fiona, who Chi-Chi is from Canada, right? And Fiona is from Australia. They met here on the boat and found out that they were born on the same day, the same year, same month, right? And they're two really positive people. You'll see Fee and Chi-Chi in the comment section. If you just get into the boat, Chi-Chi has been gone for about a week because that storm went through Nova Scotia and it kind of shook things up there. And, you know, she was there. I think it's Nova Scotia, right? She's somewhere up in Canada. Anyway, since that storm, she's kind of she's had a more difficult time spending a lot of time on the boat, but she's always around normally and is one of the nicest human beings on the planet. She also happens to be a very pretty person, like her appearance. She won the genetic lottery as well as choosing day to day. Kevin, love you, brother. Kevin Chase the Heat, love you. She also chooses a couple of 100 times a day to be beautiful. She's just kind to a fault. And, you know, through the buffering of a tape of a live feed, there was a section where I talked about what a beautiful person she was, just like I'm doing right now. And then I moved on from there to say, have you ever seen one of those people where you just know they're the most ugly person on the planet? Well, when it all got sort of put together and there's 7 or 8 seconds missing, and it just said, if you've never seen Chi-Chi, she's one of the ugliest people you've ever seen. And it was just like, somebody called me, I had been asleep 2 hours, and somebody called me and said, dude, you know, what's going on? And I was like, what are you talking about? And they said, you know, first of all, she's really upset. And of course she is. I mean, if you heard that, and if you really watched closely, or if you had been on the boat, you can see, well, it's gone now, but you can see there's a glitch. You can see something's up. But if you're just watching it for the first time and not paying much attention, then, you know, not a lot of good there. Chiba, are you from the Netherlands? Oh, how exciting. Man, oh man, people, we are all over the place. Chad Perry is in Nova Scotia. That is where Chi-Chi's from, is Nova Scotia. My bad. That's where Chi-Chi is from. People, we got people from all over the world on here right now. But anyway, I just wanted to address that. People, I'm not going to do something for, I will not sensationalize something for clicks. I will not, I don't do clickbait. I don't do any of those stupid things because we're in here for the long haul. Nor would I do something like buy subscribers or get into those sites where people say, will you come and click on all of our stuff and we'll come and click on all. People, we're just going to do this according to Hoyle. You know, we're going to do it the way we're supposed to do it. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't do publicity stunts in order to try to make this boat bigger. I ate surstroming, and if you do not know what that is, go back and watch the video where I eat foul fish. I can't remember what the title of the video is, but it's like the Scoville brothers versus foul fish, or the Scoville brothers versus whatever. People, this is a fish, and the way that it is cured, it literally gets it to ferment and rot, and you can't take this stuff down without vomiting. I mean, I don't know anybody that can eat the stuff. Well, I shouldn't say that. There is one gentleman at Chase the Heat that seems to be able to do pretty well with it, but it is the foulest tasting stuff in the entire world. I will eat that if it moves the boat forward. Do a tube of terror, somebody says. For the record, I own the world record for the fastest tube of terror ever. And before I get off of the air on this live feed, I'll tell you where you can go and look at that. I did a tube of terror in 43 seconds and then drank a bottle of tincture as a chaser. Yeah, and it was jacked up tincture, which means that it was normal ghost pepper stuff, and then, tincture, and then it had like a half a gram or 3/4 of a gram of capsaicin crystals added to it. It's one of the gnarliest things you'll ever see. However, I'm done doing heat challenges. For the time being, I really, really am. I'm proud of the tube of terror time, 43 seconds. It's going to be a very special day when someone beats that. To be perfectly honest, I've tried twice, not filmed, to beat that since. And honestly, couldn't even get close. The fastest time I did was 51 seconds. But I don't want to run anybody off of this channel who's here for what we're here for. So if I ever seem like I don't talk a whole lot about that, and there's a reason for it. I mean, honestly, I am Tommy Scoville. So being Johnny's little brother, I'm really kind of expected that is, what I'm going to do. And people expected that's what the channel to do. But people, I have gone to prison for bank robbery, and I'm not a bad person. You understand? I really am not. I have a good heart, and I care about people. But I lived a life that would tell you the exact opposite. And as I got sober, I realized that there was really nobody out there putting out a message that I think was important. And that message is just that, regardless of what your drug of choice was or what your habit is or whatever, we're all decent people. And if you can separate the problem from the people, then you wind up with productive members of society that in some cases can change the world. And, you know, I had somebody send me an email that said you should stop saying that, it's arrogant, right? People, if I get one human being sober, right, through what I do on this channel, you don't think I changed the world? I mean, truthfully and honestly, if one person gets sober, how many lives is that going to touch over the course of a lifetime? Children that they give, you know, that they give birth to or they raise. Think of how many people, right, that one person who is sober can affect. People, I promise you, there are going to be thousands of people that get sober because of what we do. Not me, but because of what we do. Derek, I got your email. Hopefully you're saying that you emailed me back. But, well, I'll find that out when I get off of the air here. So, the seventh son, the Netherlands doesn't just rotten shark. Oh, the rotten shark is the hakarl, right? Hakarl is disgusting, but from what I understand, and I haven't done it. By way of full disclosure, I never ate hakarl. But I have been told that systroming is worse. And this is by people that have done both at least 3 times each. But that being said, you know, as far as trying the hakarl, yeah, no, not going to do that because I will do systroming. I might be able to be talked into it one more time. If I thought there was a chance of better exposure for the boat, I probably would do it. And you guys have heard me talk about Jack, right? Jack's my best friend. And actually I have 2 very close friends, but the one who can come and see me right now would be Jack. My other friend is a guy that I know from prison named Austin. And those 2 are really the, you know, as far as my friends go, they're the closest people to me outside of my new friends. I'm talking about from my old life. But Austin doing what he's doing right now, there's no chance of us getting together. But Jack lives up the street for all intents and purposes. He's 3.5 hours away. So Jack is going to be coming down here probably within the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be doing a bunch of videos about story time. It's going to be Jack and Tommy talk about, you know, our past. So you have a better idea of some of the stories from when I was in the life. But I want Jack to eat this foul fish. Like, I'm not going to be happy until I watch my best friend, Rich, from trying to keep systroming down. And, in fact, at some point, you should probably pop into the comment section. You don't do it here because this one's going to disappear. But in the regular comment section, do me a favor and say that. Say you can't wait to see Jack eat systroming or eat that foul fish or any variation of that, because I'm going to use those comments to pressure him. The one thing I will say about Jack is that, you know, he knew about this, he knew about the goal of the boat long before anyone else did, except maybe Johnny, because I used to talk to him about this all the time. And Jack is super supportive. There's nothing he wouldn't do to help further this dream. He was a heroin addict for a long time, and he is, like I say, he's on board. There's nothing he wouldn't do to help further the cause. So when he said, you know, if there's anything else I can do, Tommy, you just let me know. I'm like, yeah, eat systroming. And he was like, no, but I'm being serious. I said, no, I'm being serious. You know, you eat systroming and it is going to help this channel. He has basically said that he's willing to do that. He is not particularly excited about the project, but he has said that he is willing to do it. So, people, okay, yeah, Captain, you should do hakarl and systroming. You know something? Johnny and his crew did hakarl, systroming, and something else, and they put it in a blender, and they made a smoothie out of it. I swear to you, I almost threw up thinking about that. Ugh. Yeah, for 10,000 crew members on this boat, you could throw a kitty litter in there with that, you know, used. And I probably would do it because I want this badly enough. I really, you know, and again, it's not about people, it's not about fame. If it was about fame, I'd be eating peppers. It's about really trying to make a difference. And I know that with the crew that I got, that we're going to make this happen. If you people see Mark Wages, right, my first mate, then you really need to let him know that he did a great job. People, if you haven't got a chance to look at all the things that he's doing to change the paint job on the lifeboat, get a look at it. Also, thank you to all the people who have been sending. They've been basically doing the same kind of thing and sending out suggestions and things. Everyone who's been doing that, man, I love you guys. Everything that you can do to pull for this boat. People, if it never gets used, it's the fact that everyone here is like, hey, this is my boat, right? That's what makes this amazing. This is my boat. I want to make my boat better. People, that needs to be the attitude. It really does. And I'm preaching to the choir because everybody who's listening to me right now has been doing that, and excellently. So, that's pretty much takes care of, oh no it doesn't. I've got a couple of other announcements. Number one, I talked about how I wrote a goodbye letter to my drug of choice. And I very much gave the drug human characteristics. I wrote it as if I was writing to a woman. And that goodbye letter that I did, I'm searching for it. And I told people that. Well, I've gotten 2 or 3 of these letters emailed to me. And a couple of them are fantastic. I was planning on coming on here today and reading the 1 or 2 of them. The trouble is I have not gotten back permission from the people who wrote to me. I do not want to ever put something out that I received in an email to the entire crew until I get permission from the people that sent it to me. That's bad form. But once I get permission from the people that sent that, I really, really want to start highlighting some of these letters, these goodbye letters. They're fantastic. And I think when you hear them, these are the kind of things that you're gonna hear things and you're gonna go, man, that's me, because I did. Like I read some of these and went, oh damn, that just hit home. And anything that we do here, people, that make us feel like we're right all in the same boat, that furthers the cause of the lifeboat. I hope everybody understands that. So anybody who has ever done this, written a goodbye letter to your drug of choice, or alcohol, or your bad habit, or whatever it is, please email it to me. Keeping in mind, if there's a good chance it's going to get read on the air. If it's too personal for that, then don't do it. But I would love to get as many of those letters as possible. I think it benefits people that have yet to become crew. I really do. And some crew members who are trying to quit, I think they're really going to get a lot out of hearing this. So please, people, write me. Send me your goodbye letters and send them over to CaptainTommyScoville@gmail.com. That would mean the world to me. And I think once you hear them, it may spark something in you. It certainly did me, people. And I got a lot of I got 6 years plus sobriety. But hearing these letters, they made me think. And they really hammer home more than anything else. Boy, we're all in this together. It is the exact same boat. Virginia says that's such a good idea. I love it when people say stuff like that. So I'm glad people agree. Please, I'll tell you, there's another letter you're going to definitely be hearing. And that's going to be the one from Mark Wages. I tell you what, Mark is... I love Mark. I don't know how else to say it. I really, really love Mark. Thank you, Deja. I'm pretty happy with the idea, and I'm not going to take credit for it. When I was talking to Mark about the whole goodbye letter thing, he said to me, "Boy, you ought to read them on the air. Get permission to do that because I think it'll really affect, people who are going to be hearing this." Mark's a beast. He's a guy that just gets it. I know I harp on that so often about how, he and I just sort of. We're in sync from the word go, but it's it really is one of those situations that we were so close. I've got 357 asks, are you still working at a printing place, Tommy? Here's the deal. Yes, I am, but my quarantine was you got to spend 14 days under quarantine before you can go back, right? That 14 days, because of when I tested, the first opportunity, basically I'm looking at Tuesday where I would be going back. But yes, I absolutely still am working there. And once I do go back, you're going to see a dramatic change around here on the boat, people. It's just the way it is. I've tried to get as much filming done. You guys all saw the videos that I did when I was sick. You've sort of watched the whole progression as I got healthy and started doing better. But the quarantine days are up. Yeah, as I said, so Tuesday. Providing when I call them up there, they say to me, "Yeah, come on back to work and everything is good." It's probably going to be Tuesday when I go back. I couldn't, according to what the CDC guidelines are, I got to stay out of. I got to stay to quarantine thing for 14 days. Yeah, 357. It's the rules. And they're probably good rules because really, in all honesty, there's a lot of people that you can carry this thing after you're already done with it. And I don't want to get into a huge discussion about the C17 plus 2, right? We don't want to, because everyone has an opinion and it's the last thing in the world I want to do. But we all do know that this is a contagious thing, right? So yeah, the CDC says at a minimum 14 days, and you also need to have a clean test. Right, I got I'm clean. I just need the full 14 days, and that's going to give me the opportunity to go back on Tuesday. So I'm going to contact them, and I have not spoken to them yet. I have sent text messages to a couple of the people up there that who were bosses of mine. Have not heard back yet. I may drive there, believe it or not, today, but I wouldn't want to go in. Technically still. Yeah, I don't want to do anything when I'm on quarantine. It is what it is. But I'm feeling considerably better. So, Deja Moore says that my addiction isn't with drugs, but I hope I'm still able to help anyone else any way I can. You know what? I've talked about this a lot, and I always will continue to do so. I hope you don't get sick of hearing me, people. But addiction is a two-component phenomenon, right? So Deja, your second component and my second component are the same. And it doesn't matter what your addiction is, right? So you're addicted to something other than drugs. Whatever that is, if you're addicted to gambling, or if you're addicted to video games, anything where you get a stimuli of some kind, that's the first mechanism. The second mechanism is when your brain says, reward this person for what they're doing. That's the second switch. And that's the one that keeps us all in the same boat, regardless of what our drug of choice is or anything else. It's that second switch that makes all of us the same, regardless of habit. And when you start hearing some of these goodbye letters, it's amazing, because if you pick anybody's, you pick mine, and every time there's mention of heroin or opiates, if you just remove that and put anything else, it would be almost identical. There's a couple of things that are unique by drugs, like track marks, right? If you're shooting up, that might be unique only to certain drugs. But the behaviors are all the same. There's, you've got people lying and stealing and cheating and all of the things that sort of make all of this really, really similar. So, people, when I got on today, I wanted to announce a couple of announcements, and then I wanted to talk about something just briefly. I was going to shoot this in a video, but I'm so lazy that I didn't want to edit it. No, honestly, what I want to do is, this is such a great forum because it allows all of you to talk back and forth. And I get so much positive feedback from going live. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, this makes people happier than the videos do. So I figured before I have to go back to work this week, I would try to get a couple of more live feeds in. But if I were shooting a video, what I wanted to talk about today is time. Right? Time. Time is a really, really cool subject for people in recovery. If you think about, do you want to hear something crazy? Time, when you start to look at, they have this list of all of the statistics and things about time that are really kind of staggering, right? And the things that are designed to make you think. For instance, if you were to stop at every single picture in the Louvre, right, in the famous museum, if you were to stop and look at every single painting inside that museum and spend 30 seconds at each one, how much time would that take? Right? It would take 100 days. If you just stopped for 30 seconds at every piece of art in that museum, it would take you 100 days, around the clock, by the way, not working an 8-hour shift. 100 days to look at every single piece of art in the museum. When I read that, I started thinking about 100 days. 100 days does not seem like a whole lot of time, does it? I mean, honestly, it's less than a third of a year. But you start thinking to yourself, 100 days, how much can you get done in 100 days? People, 56 days ago, we didn't have a channel, right? I mean, obviously, I had spent plenty of time on YouTube because of Chase the Heat, right? But as far as this, right, the lifeboat, 56 days ago, it didn't exist. How much have we got done in half of that 100-day time, right? Phenomenal. As we start talking about time, it seems really, really unique to somebody in rehab, to somebody who is going through the act of getting sober. How much time? I'm sorry, what does that say? Oh, I gotta read this one. I'm sorry, because Cheever's fascinating me. It says, honestly, Cap, I don't know how you answer all the emails, comments, questions, plus make videos. You must be living, eating, breathing this channel. Mad respect for you. You know what? That is such a cool thing to say. And before I talk about time, because it's kind of relevant to what you just said, before we do, I want to apologize to you, my friend, because the first time when I started to read the comments today, I thought by what the first thing that I read that you wrote, I kind of thought perhaps you weren't a fan of mine, which you have the right to do, right? You don't have to like me. I think you have to like the message, but you don't have to like me. But people, you know what a rare thing it is for somebody to say, hey, I may be wrong? I'm telling you, in this day and age, you have any idea how rare that is? That's just staggering, right? It really is staggering. 357. Tommy says he's heading back to work. It sounds like it. Okay. Yeah, I'm planning on heading back to work, people. I just have to get through the last of the quarantine. So, Cheeber, the next thing I read, you said, I may have been wrong about this, man. And I got so much respect for somebody that in public will say, hey, man, I may be wrong. That's just rare, man. That is so rare, and it is so rare in this day and age for someone to be such a great guy, because it just doesn't happen. And I misjudged you, and we do this all the time. I misjudged you by what I read in the first two sentences. And I'll tell you something, though. It's a testament to having tools instead of relying on the fact that you make good decisions. Because I don't make good decisions, right? You don't end up in federal prison for making good decisions. So instead of firing off, right, being that keyboard warrior, I did what I tell people to do, right? I sat back and I took a deep breath, and I said, I'm going to read this a couple of more times and I'm going to evaluate it. And then I kept reading down, and when I got about two more down, it was Cheever saying, hey, you know what? Now I feel bad that I even said anything about the captain. Maybe I misunderstood, and maybe I was like, damn, right? Boy, am I glad I didn't say something stupid. But that shows a level of maturity and a kind of gentlemanly behavior that has been dead for decades, Cheever, and I am proud to know you. I really am. That means the world. And you said, I love you, dude. I love you too, man. Seriously, you're good people, and I am so happy that you were on this boat. I don't know how any other way I can say that. I'm very happy you're on this boat. Now, in terms of getting back to time, and it's one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up today, you can tell all you need to tell about a person by what they dedicate their time to. You really can. You can tell just about every single thing you need to know by how they spend their time, right? If you find a father and he spends 40% of every waking hour with his children, you don't have to wonder if he's a good dad, right? It usually puts really in perspective. You say, hey, this is a guy that cares. What you spend time doing is what you care about. Plain and simple. So far, Cheeber, I have answered a little over 12,000 comments since we started getting rolling, right? And that's a lot. And I have people that say, boy, you don't have to answer mine, or you don't have to answer all these. I don't have to answer any of them. I don't. I mean, that's what most people with YouTube channels do. They'll pick one out of every 15 or one out of every 20. And if by some chance they pick you, you think, oh, how cool, right? Like I won the lottery. It may not be that I had a cool comment, but what I do here is very unique, right? Compared to other YouTube channels. I'm not, biting pods, Tide Pods in my mouth. What I'm doing is trying to help people and trying to honestly change the world. So, number one, I feel like I'm being disingenuous if I don't try to answer every comment. Now, also coming out the gate, the more of those I answer, and the more that I'm engaged with my audience, and I don't know how to think of you that way, but with the crew, the more the algorithm gets excited about this project, and the more the algorithm gets excited about this project, the more they're going to push it out to people. And somewhere there's a guy buying a bag of heroin right now. And in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, he could very easily end up dead in the street. Now, he also could very easily end up hearing us, and we might just save that person's life. And if that means that I gotta eat foul fish, and if it means I gotta put in 30-hour days when we first get started, I'll be honest with you, Cheever. Before I got COVID, I'm not supposed to say that word. That they don't really like that on the algorithm either. Before I got the C12 plus 7, I was working 60 hours a week at the printing place, and then doing this. So once I got sick and was told that I could not go, I had to follow the CDC guidelines and all of that, well, then I needed to take advantage of this time as much as I possibly could. And in the beginning, I couldn't because I couldn't get out of bed. But since starting to feel healthy, I'm filming. I'm doing as many of these live feeds as I can. And when I'm done doing live feeds, I'm sitting at this desk staring at the camera and making videos for days that I'm not going to be able to, to make things happen. And here's the deal. I know you're going to love that I said that because everybody picks on me. But the reason that, very good, Deja, C math. I'll just call it C plus math from here on out. The reason that I don't complain about working long hours or dedicating time to this or anything else is because, I've been on this globe, going into like my 52nd year. I'm 51, right? So that's how long I've been on this planet. For about 45 of those years, I was worthless. And I know people say, you don't say you're worthless. No. You don't say that a person is worthless. You can say you acted worthless. You can say that you were just a reprehensible human being. I own my past, and I was a reprehensible human being. I was not a person you wanted to have as a friend. I was not a person that you wanted to have working for you, and I was not a person that you wanted to have to rely on for anything, right? I was the person that would call in sick. I was the person that I just wasn't a good person. And once I decided to change, I literally made a list. And if you've never seen the video that I do about how I got sober with my 8-step program, it's a little different than the 12 steps. It's something that I put together. But with my program, I made a list of who I was, all of the things that I found disgusting and rotten about the person I was. And then on the next piece of paper, I made a list of who I wanted to be. And I wanted to be reliable. I wanted to be hardworking. I wanted to be a guy that if I said to you, it'll be done on Tuesday, you knew it was going to be done on Tuesday. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm putting a lot of time in. I really am. And it's probably frustrating some people who are near and dear to me. I'm quite sure that my kids would probably be happier if I put a little less time in. I don't live with them. They're basically adults, but they look at me and worry. I know that Ma Scoville would probably be happier if I put less time in. But it's not going to be like this all the time, but it's certainly going to be like this now because we're close, people. We're close. No pressure, right? But if everybody on this boat said, if everybody on this boat said, I'm going to watch every single video that Tommy's ever filmed. That's what I'm going to do over the course of this weekend. I'm going to watch every single video. I'm going to start in the beginning. We'd monetize before the end of the day, right? Or by tomorrow, for sure, we'd monetize. That's not going to happen. That's not realistic. Although I've been getting emails from people that are doing it, and I know they're doing it because they're leaving a new comment on every single one of the videos, and I'm like, yes! But if I could do live feeds bring a lot of hours in. Jesse Stinson, nice to see you. It brings a lot of hours in when I do live feeds, and that's a benefit right now to this boat, and it is a benefit to the people who have yet to get on this boat, right? I'm telling you, people, some of the greatest crew members, people that are going to change lives, don't even know we're a boat, right? They haven't even arrived. That's the exciting thing. Everybody here really is on the ground floor of something that's pretty exciting. Chase the Heat. My brother's got a silver play button, and he's on fire. Things are really going well for him. There are people out there that are talking about the possibility of trying to get him to do TV and all kinds of stuff. But I'll tell you something. If you look at the two trajectories, we came out of the gate a whole lot hotter, and I realize a lot of that's because I'm his little brother. But we have the possibility to do some pretty amazing things. And I've said to people before, man, let this thing blow up. Let this get to be one of those ridiculous channels where there's $400,000 or $500,000 a month coming in. Because I'll tell you something, people. You watch what I'll do to the drug war. You give me $500,000 a month. You watch what a dent we put in that drug war. I'm not even playing. I mean, I know exactly where we take this thing with that kind of cash. I know exactly what we would do with that kind of cash. So I really appreciate that, Sheba. I really do. It's nice to that, and that's different than. I tell people I want to be told that I'm lucky. I really do, because I know I'm lucky you're here. I really do, and sometimes it makes you a little uncomfortable when the praise comes really rolling in. That kind of thing, though, feels fantastic. It's nice when somebody says, boy, you're putting a lot of time into this, because I am. And not just time, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of effort, there's a lot of time, there's a lot of money. I've upgraded everything here twice since I got the ball rolling. And I'm not afraid to admit this, people. When I started, I was filming on my iPhone. I wasn't 100% sure that this was even going to be embraced. I figured there was a decent number of people that were just going to call me an idiot. Jesse Simpson says, I have a question. How's Instagram going for you? Jesse, to be really honest with you, brother, I walked away from Instagram. I have about 7,800 followers on Instagram. I built that in about 6 months, a year ago or whatever. I walked away from it because if I have to divide my time up, and we're talking about time again a second ago, right? So if you have to divide your time up, I'm going to divide it up into places where I can do the most good, right? And this format here, the boat, gives me far more of a reach, right? I mean, right now, where we got? We got the Netherlands, we've got Canada, we've got Australia, we've got New Zealand, we've got England, we've got the United States. We got what, six countries or more on here right now. Switzerland, right? I think we got the Swiss Vapor on here. So we got 7 or 8 countries, and that's out of what, 20 people, right? This is the reach that I have through YouTube is staggering in comparison to the kind of things that I was able to do on Instagram. And on Instagram, I mean, it's a very cool platform for what it's for. It's a great platform. And I got a page over there that I built for the channel, which is aside from my other one. I'm not going to use the other one. For me, it's not about, hey, check this out. You know how many people we got? Like those days are long in my rearview mirror. I have absolutely no desire to do that kind of thing, Silent Cinnamon said, Jesse makes me think you should post on Instagram about the boat and people to come over. You know what? I did. It's how I got started. If you guys want to go over and take a look at what I did, you can do that. It's just my name, right? You can go over and take a look at Tommy Scoville, right? You can go over and look at my page, and you'll see exactly what I did. I did build for this. But right now, I've got a page that I put up over there that's called the Lifeboat Show, right, on Instagram. And the idea was to try to get people over here. This, people, is the problem. The problem is my last name is Scoville, right? I really kind of want a safe harbor. And what I mean by that is, if you've spent any time on Instagram, you know that the post, I went over there, and the first post that I saw as I walked in today was a post that was cracking a joke about pedophilia. And here's the thing, I mean, it might be funny to half the population, right? I don't want to do anything that's going to offend 5% of the population, right? I have a really decent opportunity to control things in this environment right here, right? I can put together a group of people and at Instagram and say, look, if you're going to be posting, because we're all family here, can you just kind of keep posting? It's never going to happen. Never. I can't, I could do it private, and then what happens is I spend all day long trying to tell everybody that's already on the boat, oh no, look, I'll get over there and I'll accept you. Just give me a minute, I'll get over there and I'll check you against the list over here and blah, 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 blah. Instead, I get up this morning and I go over there, and there's about, 25 or 35 people that have found out that I got a page, and they've all subscribed, and they're people from my other page, right? Which I'm touched and I'm happy, but they're not necessarily on the same page, so to speak, as we are. They certainly don't, hello Rose, they certainly don't know the 4 rules, right? They're going to post about politics. They're going to make jokes about pedophilia, and there are jokes about rape. There's jokes about things that aren't freaking funny. I'm sorry. And the politics, I mean, go over there today and count how many of the things that you see come across that say have something to do with politics. How many of the posts, you won't get through 5 or 6 without seeing someone that just wants to tell you how bad Joe Biden is an idiot. And stick around 5 or 6 more, and you're going to get somebody who's going to tell you that, Trump was Adolf Hitler's little brother or whatever. And people, let me say this because I think it's important. First and foremost, right? First and foremost, to me, first and foremost, like the Hippocratic Oath to a doctor, is I will do no harm, right? My first line of responsibility in my head is to make sure that I never do any harm to this, right? To the boat. If I come out, people, I have an opinion on everything, right? On everything. I've got an opinion on God. I've got an opinion on abortion. I've got an opinion on gun rights. I've got an opinion on politics in terms of Republican, Democrat. I have an opinion on everything. However, it's not going to be the same as 50% of the individuals who, I'm not going to alienate anybody. How bad would it be if a person who's an alcoholic decides not to stick around and hear about getting sober because they think I'm a Republican or a Democrat, or because they think I'm anti-gun or pro-gun, or pro-life or pro-choice, or any of that stuff? To me, right here, the number 1 rule is to do no harm. I want everybody who has a problem with a substance or a habit to be able to come here and feel that there's a safe haven. So the reason that I'm going to have a presence over there, it's going to be very small. And I wish it would be very small. It's going to end up blowing up. And the reason it's going to end up blowing up is because a lot of people are going to hope I'm eating peppers or drinking bottles of tincture. I mean, maybe if they see me do enough posts about what it is I'm doing, we'll get some people over here, but they're going to come over for the curiosity of, hey, this is Johnny's little brother. I wonder if he'll drink some tincture, right? Or I wonder if he's going to eat a bag of peppers. And honestly, people, I mean, if you said I can dump off 5,000 subscribers, and 300 of them will end up being really active, people, I would rather have the 300. That may not make sense to you, but this is not going to be a manhood thing for me, so I can walk around and tell people how many subscribers I got. What I'm trying to do is save as many people as possible. I would love to use Instagram as a way to get people over here. I'm not sure if I know how to do it right. It's just the truth. I don't know that I could do it without causing as much harm as good. And here's the thing: if you got an idea, if you got a way that you think you've got to bring people to the boat, for the love of everything good, bring them here. Right? This is your boat too. Bring them here. But I kind of feel like I gotta be careful, right? Rose, you're living in Indiana. I lived in Indiana. I spent a couple of years there. However, I don't have any cool stories from my time living in Indiana because I was in a place called Terre Haute. Not that there's anything wrong with Terre Haute, unless you happen to be behind bars, which is how I saw Terre Haute. So, one of the things about federal prison people that is it's unique is that there are 127 some odd federal prisons. They can send you anywhere, right? Anywhere. Uh-oh, look at this. We need 1,000 TLB stickers for distribution in the Tampa area. You know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. We need lifeboat bumper stickers. We absolutely do. I like that as an idea. I do. And I've got some artists that are working with us now on other things. I am open to suggestions. You will notice that the Saigon Cinnamon t-shirt quote is now on the main page of the lifeboat, right? Never quit quitting. Never quit quitting. That t-shirt, people, I'm going to be able to, it's going to be going on sale in about 4 days. So when we do go on sale with that, people, get it done quickly. I'm not trying to make it a Cabbage Patch doll, right? With through restricting its its availability. But I'm just being 100% honest. We're not making a ton of them, and we're going to limit every time. You heard this, people. I don't want to have to reiterate and go through all that, but we're limiting the number of t-shirts we make solely for the purpose of making it so that in years to come, you people should stick out. I mean, I envision a day where everybody from the boat gets together somewhere in the U.S. and we've got 20,000 people that come out for a celebration where we can all get together. Seriously, we'll rent a civic center or something, and everybody can come together. And on that day, I would like everybody that's listening to me right now to be pimping a shirt that no one else can get. Boy, that's cool. Where did you get that? Well, I was one of the first 500 or 600 people that got there, right? A different color shirt each year of viewing. I think that's a great idea. What was one of the things that we discussed when we first started talking about this, me and some of the original people on the boat, was if a slogan is fantastic, right? Something like never quit quitting. If that's something where people basically demand that they want that, and we've already done the printing, I may print it again. It will never be printed in the same color shirt, right? This original printing, this is the first shirt we do here. I am never going to reissue it where it looks like the one we're doing. This is going to be unique so that the people who were here first, you guys put up with so many growing pains, right? The perfect example is how many times I said, hey, guess what? Tonight I'm going to be interviewing Mark Wages right here. That kind of a thing, Or how about my first, the first video, which had the black bars on the side because I had no idea what I was doing. The other thing that is going to be an aspect of the merchandise stuff is this. Those people that say, I want a never quit quitting shirt, and they buy one. When the next shirt comes out, before one of them gets sold, you're going to get a call, right? Probably from Linda. And Linda is going to say to you, hey, did you want one of the next shirts? This is what it says on it. You are going to have the opportunity to say, yes, I'm taking that, or no, I'm not. You're going to get a first right of refusal. So if you're somebody that bought the first shirt, there's no chance you miss out on the second one because you're going to get the first crack at it. And then basically that can take place forever. You can always, continue to get first right of refusal forever for all intents and purposes. And I hope that a lot of people take advantage of that. I would love to see, a group of people that have every one of these shirts and, they're going to become collector's items, especially this first one. And there is going to be one. Yes, that's right. Just one shirt that looks different from all the other ones. Yes, sir. Your shirt says, and people have probably seen it. If not, you can go and look at the mock-up of it. But it says the lifeboat on the sleeve, and then it says crew. Mine says the lifeboat captain. But other than that, it is the exact same shirt in every way, shape, and form. And also, there is a time coming in the future, people, where there will be at least one shirt that we get that has a polo style collar. Boy, if Ralph Lauren knew what he was doing, he would just let Polo, make us a shirt with the lifeboat on there. So if any of you happen to be really close friends with Mr. Ralph Lauren, then get this man on the phone, would you please? Let's tell him to watch some of the videos. Believe it or not, people, I've been known to wear his products. True story. I'm a fan. So before I got so far off the beaten path, just to clarify, I typed in Netherlands because I thought Chi-Chi was from there. Oh, he's not from where are you from, Chiba? Now, there's a bit of a delay, so it'll take probably 10 seconds before I find out where that is. And Chi-Chi is from, no, she's not from, she's from Nova Scotia? She's from Canada. I don't remember exactly where in Canada, but see, Chad Perry says Polo would be legendary. I believe with you. I really believe that, brother. And you're from Indiana. Okay, yeah. I lived, like I said, I was in Terre Haute for a while. I have the Polo Man tattooed on my foot. I figured that would also be a good sales pitch for the people over there at Polo. Back to time, people. Once you get sober, one of the apps that you see people use all the time on their telephone, there's an app you can go to, and it will tell you how many days you've been sober. I think it's a cool app. I really do. I don't use it because I quit in prison. If I had quit in the real world, I probably would have had one of those going. Jesse Stinson from West Palm Beach. I love people weighing in and telling us where you're from. The more we can get to know you, the more we kind of understand this stuff, the better off we are. So I don't use that app, but there's a lot of people that do, and I think it's awesome. People, there is always going to be an element of time in relation to sobriety. And I need everybody to really focus on one thing that is super important, okay? There's a second element to time when it comes to sobriety. The first one, pretty cut and dry, is how long you've been sober. I'm sorry, people. The C math is still killing me. Really. Sorry. The second component is time is probably the most valuable commodity in the world, right? We can all agree that nobody is making any more of it. You have a certain amount of time, and that is it. Once that time is over, it's all over. And not $1 trillion can get you one more minute. When the time comes that your number's punched, you're leaving this planet, right? I think we're all in agreement that the clock's ticking on everybody. Time is one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable, of all commodities because you can't manufacture it, you can't buy it, you can't create any more of it. So I have been massively enthralled with time since a kid. I have a watch fetish that's hard to explain. Really, really into watches. And have collected good ones, nice Swiss-made watches for years, on and off. And by that I mean I bought them and then sold them because of drugs, and then I would get a job and get sober and I'd buy really nice and then sell them. If you knew how many Rolexes I've bought and sold in my life, it's just depressing. When I put this watch on, this was the last watch that this will never be sold. This watch was on my father's wrist for the majority of his life. And I remember when he bought it, I remember him getting excited about it. But this, people, for me, is a talisman. And there are rehabilitation centers across the United States that demand, no lie, that as a person gets sober, they say, you need a watch. It doesn't have to be a $20,000 wristwatch, right? It doesn't have to be anything like that, but you need a watch. Because it is a talisman. It is a symbol. It says, I now keep track of this stuff, right? You know how many people who live in the life can't tell you what day of the week it is? I was that cat for a long time. For real. People would say, it's Tuesday, we're going to do this. I'd be like, it's Tuesday. Are you sure? I mean, when the only thing you have to focus on is drugs, you don't care what time it is. What time did you get up? When I get up, right? What time do you go to bed? When I pass out. There was no structure. There was no anything. And the first thing that you lose respect for, the thing that makes all of that go off of the rails for a lot of people is this, right? Having no respect for time. How much time you waste. There are studies done and they quote it differently in different places. But how much time that a heroin addict spends while he's addicted waiting for the dope man to deliver drugs. And it's literally about half your life. Heroin addicts get up, they go do what they do, then they call and they sit in the parking lot and they wait for the guy to come and drop off the dope. And sometimes it can be hours. And what are you going to do? I mean, you talk about a captive audience, you're not leaving. You're sick, right? Your stomach is in knots, you feel like you're going to die, and literally, no matter how long it takes for that person to show up, you're going to sit and wait. So you think about the average drug user spending, even if on a conservative estimate, say they spend what, 15% of your life while you're using, waiting for somebody to drop off drugs. That's terrifying, people. That's terrifying. So as we start to get sober, one of the things that we need to respect the most is time. Truthfully, you can do amazing things with time. My new friend, who I have ridiculous amounts of respect for, from Indiana, right? Cheever, I believe. Indiana? Unless he was saying someone else is from Indiana and I'm really stupid. And there's that as a possibility. But, he was saying earlier that, he respects what I'm doing because of the amount of stuff that I'm basically shoehorning into a day. But the reason that this is all getting done, people, is because for the first time in my life, hold on one moment. The first time in my life, I am, instead of just having this thing on my wrist and liking the way it looks, I have developed a very serious, thank you, Cheever, he really is from Indiana. Jesse Stinson is 20 years old. Okay, I'm starting to put all of these important things together. For the first time in my life, instead of just being enthralled with the fact that this is a very cool device, and I understand how the whole thing works, right? You've got pallet stones and you've got 17 or 32 joules and all of the different things that go into the watch, which used to fascinate me. Now it's about the fact that it keeps track of time, and for me, I'm not wasting any time ever again. Plain and simple. I'm not wasting any time ever again. You have the absolute right to look at time any way you want. But I would encourage you people, because of the amount of time we flushed down toilets as drug addicts, that you start to respect time more than anything else. People, I like to say that freedom is wasted on the free. If you've never had freedom taken away, you cannot imagine what it feels like the first time you get out of prison and you feel grass between your toes. Or the first time you get out of prison and you get caught in a rainstorm and everybody on the planet is running and cursing and angry, and you just stand out there and feel it hit you and you're like, wow, right? Where I was, if it started raining, they didn't want anybody outside. They lose visibility. There's all of these different reasons, that all of the different devices that keep us in there, the electronic eyes and all this. No, man, it's raining. Get them inside. We don't want any of them out here in this wet or anything else. So it was very rare that you could spend 5 or 10 minutes outside in a rainstorm. The first time anything happens again after you're free, the first time you look around and there's nothing for 250 yards. That doesn't happen. For the years that you're incarcerated, there's a wall every 60 feet, and it's super tall, and it's got a bunch of barbed wire on it. And once I got out, there were things that I changed so much in my life. I no longer take a hot minute for granted. I no longer waste a second. I really don't. I don't have time for it. People, I get snippy, right? I really do. Over on the my brother's channel, I used to occasionally have to sort of take somebody to task, and we used to call it a snark attack because I get snarky. I know I do. It's something I'm working on, but I get snarky. So when people say stuff like, "Hey, you're sick. You don't need to be filming." Hey, you know what? I do need to be filming. Sorry, I do. It's unfortunate that I got the C math, but I'm not going to waste 7 days because I'm sick. I don't have 7 days. I don't. Right? I spent 45 years doing nothing. I will be damned if I'm going to spend any time doing nothing for the remainder of the time I got on this planet. I'm dead serious. That's just the way it is. I am dead serious. I don't have a problem working a 60-hour-a-week job. Do you know why, people? Because I need things like laptops, and I need things like cameras, and I need things like microphones, and all of the things that I need to do, right? I have to have a bunch of apps that I pay for if I want to do any kind of cool stuff. I've got all this software and all of these apps and all these things that I got to pay for. So I need a job. That's cool. So, and I don't want to do things on a shoestring budget either. So I work 60 hours a week. I get an awful lot of overtime, and it's a good paying job. It busts your hump, but it's a good paying job. So when you take the number of hours in a week, you got to take 60 of them off the top. I'm cool with that. I really am. And people say, oh, you're pushing yourself too hard or this or that. People, I sat in a cell, right? I sat in a cell going like this, thinking about this. This is what I thought about. When there were people in prison who dreamed about getting out to get high, when there were people in prison who dreamed about getting out to be with women, getting out to buy a car, getting out to do this is what I spent all of my time thinking about. I'm not kidding. If I wasn't dreaming about this, I was taking notes about it. If I wasn't taking notes, I was reading a book about it, right? I was reading every book I could get my hands on every different theory and every different aspect of what I needed to know to put together what was to become the lifeboat. Okay? So when I got out and the starting pistol went off, I'm not going to be caught standing in the blocks for a half a second. So if ever I get snippy when people say, well, take a little time off. If I come at you with the, hey, who's the captain here, right? Or something along those lines. I'm not trying to be rude, people, but the clock's running. The clock is running. And although I may blow all kinds of time and money doing what I am doing here, there are certain things I will reward myself with. There are certain things I'm willing to spend money on. Rose says she's got to go. Okay, later. I really appreciate you, Rose. I can't wait to see you around. God bless you. Love you, really do. Thanks so much for stopping in. Means the world to me. One of the things that I absolutely will spend money on to reward myself are watches, because I love them. And when people say, man, you can't justify spending that much money. People, there are watches that cost $200,000. There are watches that cost $1 million, for real. But if a watch costs $10,000, what on this planet is more valuable than time? It becomes more than a talisman, right? It becomes something that says, God bless you too, Rose. It becomes something that says, this is the most valuable thing in the world to me, right? This. Nothing is more valuable than time. You will never see me without a watch on. Ever. Ever. Right? I don't care what I'm doing when I'm at work, I'm at play, I'm in the shower, right? There's never a second. That's why my watches need to be bulletproof. The crystals need to be made of sapphire so they can't get scratched. They need to be water resistant to 1,000 feet so that no matter what I do to it, there's no chance it's going to get any water in it. They basically need to be bulletproof, and they need to not have a battery. They need to run on the movement of my wrist. Nothing, people, nothing on this planet is going to be more important going forward. If you want to live your best life, then you better have an awful lot of respect for the clock. Don't waste time, people. Don't waste time. If you do, you will regret it. You can't get it back. There are so many things that we can get back, right? I lost everything. I lost everything. I lost the woman that I loved. I lost my house. I lost the cars, clothing, watches. I lost everything. I can get back all of it, but I can't get back time. Right? How valuable is it? And we keep track of it, right? When someone says, I quit doing drugs. I don't do heroin anymore. I'm sober. What's the next question? Every time. How long? Right? How long have you been sober? We have to quantify it. We have to put something onto it. How long? How long have you been sober? 6 years and change. There is always going to be an aspect of time as it is directly connected to. I know what you mean, Captain. Virginia, I believe you do, right? People, so, in conclusion on my time speech, I make no apologies for the fact that over the course of the last 6 or 7 days, I have been harping on the fact that we're trying to get those 4,000 hours. The faster we get them, the more the algorithm determines that we're a player. You understand? This magical computer-generated thing that is probably 7 guys in mom's basement working on computers. The more that these things, the faster that we get these things done, then the more this algorithm decides that we're a player. And if they think we are a player, then they push us harder. You understand? You have to come out the gate fast. So if I had made a big deal about it, people, and I told you, I got an email from someone that said, you sound desperate. I am desperate. I don't want to waste any time. I don't want grass growing under our feet. And I don't want someone who's out there right now, right, getting high, to be in danger of dying because I took too long, right, to get to monetization. And our partners at YouTube didn't push me into that person's living room or that person's office. So that's why, people. That's why. And you know how many people say, I get emails that say, boy, if there's anything I can do for you, watch every video, man. Watch every video. Take the time today. Watch every video. And you know what, people? If you're not paying super close attention because you're doing something in the house, YouTube's probably not aware of that, and we're getting closer to that 4,000 hours. Get us there, right? I will continue to sit here and do exactly what I do. You want to help? Watch. Watch tons of it. Watch tons of it in the next 3 or 4 days, people, because there's people out there we need to save, and if they don't hear about this, we ain't saving them. No apologies. This is who I am. This is my goal. I said in the beginning, watch what someone does with their time, and you will know exactly what it is that they want. Let me see that. I know to borrow a phrase that you are probably familiar with, do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get that prize. Hot Wheels, I love that. I absolutely love that. You know, and you know, people talk all the time. They say, you know, you got to run as if your life depends on it. I'll tell you what we're going to do around here. We're going to run as if other people's lives depend upon it. Right? My life doesn't depend on this thing getting done. It doesn't. But there are other lives out there that do. Make no mistake about that. There are people out there right now for whom the difference between life and death might be that they hear about this channel or not. You think I'm being melodramatic, people? There's 190 people at a minimum in the United States that are going to die today. And people hear that and go, you know, 190 people? Look, there's 330 million people in the United States. Like, what are the odds you're going to know one of the 190? I don't have anybody left. Right? Of all of my friends, it's me and Jack. The rest of them are dead. So that 190, we're not taking that out of a pool of 330 million people. We're taking it out of the pool of people who are using. That's a smaller segment of the society. And then you take it out of the people who are just using heroin. It's even a smaller segment of society. Then you take it out of people who are just using heroin in your town, and you got a 50-50 shot. You hear what I'm telling you? These aren't nameless statistics, right? These aren't a black mark on a government chart. These are human beings with brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and kids. So, yeah, what we're doing is important. And you got to do this like somebody else's life depends on it. I mean that. I would love to tell you that there's something that, you know, is more important that I really, you know, would need to focus on. You saw what happened when my daughter called. If my daughter calls, I'm taking that call before I do anything else. But outside of, you know, my son and my daughter, there's not much else. There isn't. I mean, how do you find out what somebody's into? Take a look at what they spend their time on. I'm glad that Chiba pointed out, this is what I spend my time on. I mean, almost to the point where you might call it an obsession. But I was obsessed with heroin. How did that work out? You know, I owe it to the world. I owe it to society. I owe it to myself, and I owe it to God to take the second half of my life and do something productive with it, because I sure as hell didn't do squat with the first half of it. And if you feel like you wasted part of your life on drugs, this is your opportunity to get back. This is your opportunity to take what you've done and this is an opportunity for you to turn around and take all of your mistakes and make them something positive. How many people get that opportunity? How many people get the opportunity to take their errors and turn them into a resume, to take the screw-ups that they've done and use those as a way to affect people, right? That's the purpose of this, people. That's why I'm on this live feed, right? This is why I am putting the amount of effort that Chiba pointed out. Look, the amount of time I'm putting into this, I have to. You understand? This is an opportunity to make all of the mistakes that you've made mean something. That's important to me. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's super important to me. Why do I do this? Why do I put in that much time? Because this is my life, and this is important. It really is. So, all right, people. As I promised, I'm not going to keep everybody on the... Saigon Cinnamon says he is 38, I believe that says. Wow, man, you're doing something right. George, either that or that avatar you took 20 years ago, but you look young. I would not have for 1 second guessed that that's your age. I'm not sure I like you anymore. No, I'm kidding, but boy, you look young. That's a good thing. You're doing something right, for real. People, as I said, this is not going to be one of those marathon live feeds. You know, nor do I... Obviously, I'm pulling for time, so I don't want to... The seventh son did not just say, "Happy unbirthday, everyone." I tell you what, that's a man after my own heart. I am, hands down, the largest Alice in Wonderland fan on the planet. So you absolutely touched my heart with that. Because oddly enough, you may find this difficult to believe, but today is my unbirthday. Right? What are the odds? A very merry unbirthday to you. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but let me see. That right there would be the Cheshire Cat. And that right there, everybody, you probably recognize the bunny. Here we got the Mad Hatter, right? And then back here, that would be the Dormouse, right? So, yeah, I have an entire sleeve dedicated to Alice in Wonderland. Uh-oh, do you know who has just joined the party? If I am not mistaken, that is Lady Fiona Crispin has now joined us here on the boat. Jesse Stinson, okay. Bent Genetics, hi everyone. You know what? Everybody seems to, my goodness, everyone is showing up now. Right as I was getting ready to end the live feed, everybody starts to pop in. So, you know, people, the last thing in the world I want to do is stay on the live feed for no apparent reason just to get more time. I'm willing to get more time, but I don't want to sit here and twiddle my thumbs either, people. I'll tell you what, if you've got some questions, I will be more than happy to answer them. Fee says she got here just in time for the tattoos. Yes, you did, Fiona, but you got here just in time for me to sort of be at the end of this. I have been on now for an hour and a half. I'll tell you what, people, they both have quills. Wait a second. You're not talking about how... If you're talking about how is a raven like a writing desk, is that really what you were going with? As some of my friends, like I believe Lady Fiona Crispin and I have had a conversation about this. I can tell you all of the different ways a raven is like a writing desk. Oh yeah, I've studied this. I really have. Anyway, and Lady Crispin says, "Oh no, here we go." I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not. I may at some point do an entire Alice in Wonderland show for you. I honestly don't think you know what a terrible rabbit hole that would be to go down. Yeah, I said it. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole with Captain Tommy because, I mean, I could very easily spend just hours and hours and hours and hours. No. All right, people. That's it. I can't leave. Now I'm going to have to put some more time in here because Ariel, the hot sauce addict, has just entered the boat. And now I literally can't leave. Ariel, I am honored beyond belief by your presence. believe it or not, you were popping on just at the end of this live feed. I wasn't going to be doing any more time, but people, this is one of, hands down, my favorite people anywhere, especially in cyberspace. Somebody that I met, you know what, I should probably tell the story because it's a pretty cool one. But just one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. It was right around the holidays. You know what, I got somebody outside. Excuse me, people. You're making me nervous. A little too close to my home, sorry. Sorry about that, people. That was very close to my house. Ariel was on Facebook, and we were approaching the holidays, and it was right before Thanksgiving, and she was complaining that she was about to go home and have to deal with her family, and she was very unhappy about this prospect, and the reason is that there are some family members that weren't going to treat her very well, and she said because of political stance. And I kind of went over there to chastise her, and I said, man, you can't let politics come between you and your family. I mean, honestly, that's reprehensible. How are you going to let politics be something that screws up, something as important as family? And she said, nah, Tommy, you got this all wrong. It's not me. She said, I'm completely content to love everybody in the family. It's them that are not willing to accept me. And it was devastating, people. I just remember feeling awful, that this was taking place anywhere, and felt a little bit worse that I was trying to lecture her. I wasn't lecturing her in a bad way. I felt like, man, that wasn't probably the best stance. And at the time, people, I couldn't go home either. So as bad as a holiday that Ariel was going to have, I was going to have one that was very, very similar, because for both Thanksgiving and Christmas, I wasn't going to be allowed to leave the city I was in. I wasn't incarcerated. I just couldn't leave. It was part of the whole federal release kind of a situation. So I said, I'll tell you what, I have an idea. I'm going to be alone. How about I contact you on Thanksgiving Day, or maybe Christmas Day, or anything else? Because they say you can't choose your family, but I say, of course you can. And on that day, we chose each other. And Ariel, I have considered and treated as my sister since. And I'm proud as hell of her, because she's got over 2 years. You can happily put your sobriety date up there, Ariel, and tell everybody here how long you've been sober, because that's great stuff. But it's over 2 years that she's beat drugs and alcohol. And if you hear her story, and by the way, you're gonna hear her story, because she is going to be one of the testimonials that we highlight here on the channel. But she was very, very, let's say within the drug world, she was not prejudiced. She did not care what drugs she put into her body. She was one of those individuals that abused just about everything. Today is 850 days, people. Huh? How cool is that? Ariel? How cool is that? Absolutely awesome. She's also a vicious chili head. So most of you in the chili community probably already know her. But just a great person. I mean, all the way around, just a great person. If you don't know her, then stop into the Safe Harbor over at Facebook. That would be called the Lifeboat Show, right? That's our group over on Facebook, the Lifeboat Show. Ariel posts there all the time. People, that is a place that we can control considerably more than I can Instagram or any of the other places. The content that goes up, right? It really is just... It's a positive oasis in a sea of hate. There's a lot of bad stuff on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff out there that's just not particularly positive. But if you go to the Lifeboat Show over on Facebook, it's ridiculously positive. The people that go there, I think when I looked, we're 3 or 4 days old, people. It just started this week. And there's about 50 people already in the group. And 50 great people. Jacob Forrester, I don't believe I had said hello yet. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Ariel says she loves the lifeboat. I'll tell you what, the lifeboat loves you. I mean, no two ways about it. Good night, everyone. Climbing that hill for days, it's rough, but I'm glad to have a family here. Saigon Cinnamon. If you don't know Saigon Cinnamon, you're going to run into him over there as well. His name's George Workman, but he forced me to rename him. And I renamed him Saigon Cinnamon. So, but he has earned the right to go by either name. And I'll tell you something, I've never done that before. As the captain, anytime I have ever renamed somebody, that name has stuck. There has never been somebody that I say, feel free. And I know it probably sounds arrogant that I renamed the man. However, if you saw how we did what we did when it was back when I was doing the Tommy's Picks thing, there was many a time that I felt the need to rename somebody. Thanks, Ariel. Ariel said, thanks for creating. I'll tell you what, Ariel, I think you guys did more of the creating. I will take credit for the idea, but the idea is so much. Have to go, people. I'll tell you what, Cheever, I really, really am glad that you're here. Thank you so much for stopping in. I really feel like I got a much better handle on who you are, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're on this boat. But as I was saying, Ariel, I didn't build this. I really didn't. I came up with kind of a cool idea. Yeah, we are good, Cheever. We're more than good. We really are. So much more than good. He's a great guy, people. You see him in the comments section. He is a friend of the captain's. That is a class act. Truthfully, a class act. But, people, I will take credit for a pretty neat idea. But once I started to put it into execution, you people took the ball and ran with it in ways that I certainly did not see coming. And you have taken it, made it your own, made it bigger, made it better, made it great. And through all of the transformation that you people have done to my little idea, you've been cool enough to let me stay captain, which is a pretty cool thing. And you got me his hat, right? Letting me wear a hat. I'm a big fan of the captain's hat. So, yeah. I'm going to start saying goodbye. I stuck around just long enough, people, because I wanted to give a shout out to my sisters and brothers that had just come on, especially Ariel and Fiona and everybody, all the people that just popped on. Folks, here's the deal. Oh no. I said here's the deal. And now Fiona is going to point out that I said here's the deal, because it's awful. I just continually say it. It's something that I have to stop saying, because it started out as a joke from Tommy Boy. When he does that, the little thing about buying a T-bone and the butcher and all that, and he keeps screwing it up, and he goes, all right, here's the deal. Well, yeah, it started out as a joke, and now I can't stop saying it, and that's not such a good thing. So I need to get it under control. But, my goodness. What I was going to say, though, people, is what I was going to say is that I will probably put up another video today. So there will be an opportunity. I got a better idea. I'll tell you what. Get your friends and family together, and I will go live at 8 o'clock Pacific time. We'll go back up at 8 o'clock Pacific time, right? Good night, Tommy and crewmates. Good night, Hot Wheels. Appreciate you. So people, at 8 o'clock, 4 hours, I will be back here on the boat, and we will go live 4 hours from right now, and we'll do a quick 2-hour one. It's probably going to be the last live I'm going to be able to do before I start going back to work. Please show up. And people, couldn't be any happier. Besides, there's a guy walking around giving me the creeps. I'm going to go out and find out what this guy's doing on my front yard. People, I am your captain, Tommy Scoville, right? This is the lifeboat. You guys are the best. Thank you.